faces. Oh. Today was a very special day. It's something that I have been wanting to do for years, and that's meeting the owners of this little flock of sheep here in Rhode Island, very close to where I am right now. I have passed these sheep for years on a bicycle, and I've often stopped with my friend Alexandra and we visit with the sheep, and I have dreamed of acquiring their black fleece to spin into yarn. And today we met the owners, who were so generous, and they gave me the fleeces of 6 of their sheep. So this fleece was shorn just 2 weeks ago, and the job that I have right now is something that is pretty archaic, something that you may have never seen before, but it's called skirting a fleece. So when a fleece comes off of the sheep, before it's processed into yarn, someone needs to actually sort through it. And I thought it would be very nice for you to be here while I'm doing this, because I haven't looked at these fleeces in great detail. We just picked them up from the owners, and I've brought them back to Eve's place right here. So what we do when we start with the fleece is we open it up, and first we just look at it and assess. This is just so special because I know these sheep, and this is their winter coat. So when I'm looking at a fleece, I'm looking at it keeping in mind what I'm going to be using the fleece for. And some of this fleece I will actually send to my good friend Deborah in Ontario, in Toronto, and she will take the wool to a local mill and have it milled, spun at the mill into yarn, which is a mechanical process. And then she's going to take the yarn from these fleeces and weave it into cloth. Maybe a blanket, maybe cloth for a jacket for me, some tweed, and then some of the fleece I'm actually going to spin on the spinning wheel in the barn here. So that determines what I'm looking for. Now, when the fleece comes off the sheep, not all of the wool is the same quality or the same length. The stuff that's around the neck of the sheep, I think I know who this is. I think this is the sheep we call Dimitri. This is near his head, near his face. Is that near his face? No, I could be totally wrong. Yeah. And this is the other end. So what I'm looking for is wool that is not matted. When sheep sleep, they're usually sleeping on one side, and that part of the fleece usually gets matted. I'm looking for fleece that is of a certain length for spinning. So for spinning, the long staples, the long curls are much better. But for milling, for taking wool to a mill, and I just learned this recently from Deborah, she said the long stuff is not good. The mill cannot actually process anything that's longer than 5 inches. So she said the ideal length of the staple is between 2.5 to 5 inches. What is a staple? Well, a staple is like a lock of the fleece, and how like one curl, one sort of tuft is called a staple. So this right here, I would say that is about 4 inches. That seems perfect for sending to the mill. But in that fleece, there's also parts that are much longer than this, and that stuff I'm going to keep and spin on the spinning wheel by hand. So what I'm going to do at the beginning is just look at the fleece and take off the bits that are just too matted. This really, to me, feels like the closest that I could get to knowing the animal, because this is its whole coat, and this whole process of skirting the fleece is going through it bit by bit and looking at it and feeling it. There's an aspect of this that is so sentimental to me, that this came from one of those creatures, and now we're taking it and we're going to turn it into clothing or a blanket that we're going to use. Look at this. So here's an example of really nice long staple. This is the part that I'm going to send to Deborah to take to the mill to have mechanically spun into yarn for weaving, because most of this is that ideal length. The staples are between 2.5 and 5 inches long, and the stuff over here is pretty matted, so that's going to be discarded. And then my pile over here is the stuff that's really long that I love, that I'm going to save for actually spinning on the spinning wheel. So now what I would do is just roll this fleece up and move on to the next one. Okay. Deborah. Who do we have here? That's what it feels like, every fleece. This sheep is a different color than the other ones that I've opened up. This is one of the ewes. Look at that. So with these fleeces, because they already have a color to them, when I spin this wool up, I'm not going to dye it. And this is the beauty of these black sheep. These would all be considered black sheep. When the yarn is spun up, it's these varied colors of all of these different fibers coming together, and there's a beautiful nuance and subtlety to the yarn once it's all spun up. It just this is like, it makes me so excited. It makes me so happy. Like while I'm doing this, I just have this childlike grin on my face. I just think it's so special, like being able to do this. Look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. Look at the long staple. Oh, this just excites me so much. Now see this? This is the staple length, okay? That's like one curl. You can see there's like one lock. And when this is pulled out, this is about, like 8 to 10 inches long. So that right there is too long for the mill. The mill cannot process this, but this is excellent for hand spinning. Whew. So I'm going along skirting this fleece, and I found a part where the wool is so long and so luscious and beautiful, and then I encountered this part right here where this whole side is all matted. Like all of this wool here, it's just, I can't even pull it apart. Ugh. It's just completely matted. So that whole side where it's all matted like this is an indication that what she was doing was she was sleeping on that side, and she was sleeping on that side over and over and over, which matted the wool together.